What up, bitches? Why am I not on the screen? Okay, there it goes. That was weird. Anyways, hello, Danger News. That's not what I wanted. Fucking OBS. Thank you. These are my friends. We're doing things.
Yeah.
Better than some of your intros.
Why is it right?
All right, so I'll just start things.
I'm using the wrong window capture.
Did you just hurt yourself before Hatchet could read?
I used the wrong window capture. Whoops.
On my end, it didn't sound like she hurt herself. It sounded like she spontaneously moaned. I got very concerned.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I say SCP and Bright moans.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well,
Right? I'm positive
funnily
you're not
enough,
that sort of woman.
Maybe. Anyways, final thing before we start, I witnessed something unusual today. Like, it was like, I believe near 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and I had a hailstorm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fun.
oh yeah, that happens here a lot. So
I love it when this guy decides to try to kill us.
Yeah.
well, so right. Just a reminder, I live in the fucking like. Actually, no, I live in the literal Wild West. No, because this is where the Wild West is from. Because do you know who Billy the Kid is?
No.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that right.
I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
pretend
God.
Bright didn't say that.
He's literally one of the most famous outlaws.
Oh.
Like the fucking poster boy of Wild West Outlaws.
But to
Yeah,
be fair, a lot of things on him, like movies and other stuff, have a lot of inaccurate information.
Yeah.
Well,
They
yeah,
probably
but
do.
either way, like his name is like
Yeah.
by far the Western outlaw with the most well-known name.
Anyways.
Well, like, so Billy the Kid, I live about 3 hours from where he, from like where he lived, and where he died.
Oh.
Neat.
Cool.
Also, Hatchet, you want to know the nickname for your SCP?
Sure.
The Price of Obsession.
Okay.
Yep, so go ahead when you're ready.
Actually, probably less than 3 hours. Yeah, no, it's less than 3 hours. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
About probably closer to 1.5 hours.
Anyway, SCP.
What the fuck?
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Bray.
What, you didn't hear Bright moan, so you had to do it for her?
Oh no, I just moaned just to take the piss out of Bright.
What?
That's all the motivation I ever need.
It didn't sound like moaning, it sounded like you coughed or some shit.
To me, it sounded like Hatchet definitely moaned.
I basically did like the fastest like sort of realistic moan I can do. Like most of the time, if I'm like actually getting into it and trying to sound like I'm moaning, I go.
What? Oh, okay.
Fuck
I guess it just doesn't come across. Oh. It didn't sound like a moan, but
I didn't know we'd be having.
A future Bright, keep this in the video.
Future Bright, make this the video.
I will make this just own separate video.
Oh my god.
7
There could be a
hours.
short somewhere on your channel of Hatchet just doing moans.
Yes.
7 hours of Hatchet moaning out of context.
It's just like a few seconds.
Oh no, it would have to be the first moan because that one that sounded better than the second one.
Now that one was purposely stupid.
Alright, let's get to
That
Anyway.
sounded more like an animal, like you were trying to sound like an animal. That sounded like a cow.
That does not sound like a cow.
Well, actually, not. I was. I. There was something else that it sounded like, but my brain just couldn't find the like word.
Alright, Hatchet, now do an elk noise.
So I just defaulted to cow because that was the closest the closest word my brain could think of that.
I believe you when you said he sounds like an animal, but not cow. I've grown around cows. I may not be the smartest, but I at least know what a cow sounds like.
Oh yeah, no, I also lived around. Well,
You
again,
still
I
live
lived.
around cows?
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
There's like.
So we both agree Hatchet did not sound like a cow, but he sounded like an animal.
What
Yeah.
is happening?
Right, what were you asking me? It sounded like you had an animal request.
An elk.
An elk?
Oh my god.
I can't keep
Can
it
you do that
going long
again,
enough.
Hatch?
You say do it
Did you
again?
hear it? Yeah, didn't hear it. I think we were all laughing. Oh, sorry.
Oh, damn. Like, am I actually coming through? Because it looks
Yeah.
like my noise suppression is stopping me.
Yeah, you're coming through.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, that time you came through. Why is? I keep talking when you are doing it. So.
If I keep doing this, my parents are going to be so fucking confused with me. It's like, why the fuck is he making elk sounds? I wish I could keep. I wish I had like the lung capacity to keep going, like for a really long time to really get down the elkiness.
I'm very bad at horse sounds, so I assume that would be the same for elks. I cannot help you.
That was bad. That was really bad.
Alright, let's actually get on to the SCP, the price of obsession.
This is the price of obsession, right? I'm sitting here doing a bunch of animal sounds. This is your stream now. Anyway. SCP. I just had to physically stop my brain from from doing a faux moan again.
Oh my god.
Okay. SCP 589. Object class. Heater. Special containment procedures. SCP-589 must be contained within a sealed, reinforced container that is welded shut. Under no circumstances is SCP-589 to be removed from its container, physically contacted, or even seen. One moment. My father walked in. Okay. Where was I? Or even seen. SCP-589 and its container must sit on a scale so that it may be continually weighed to confirm 589's presence. SCP-589's containment cell may only be accessed by Level 4 personnel and must be guarded by at least 2 Level 4 security personnel. with 24-hour surveillance. Under no circumstances is SCP-589 allowed to leave its containment cell. Any personnel attempting unauthorized entry or removal Pepe will be subjected to Pepe. Unauthorized entry or removal of SCP-589 will be terminated. Should containment be breached, the entire sector SCP-589 is held in must be immediately purged via demolition charges or incendiary devices. Any personnel assigned to the sector that manage to escape must be questioned, then immediately detained for psychological screening. In the event that 589 must be handled without the protection of the container, the only personnel authorized to handle 589 must be cleared by Foundation psychologists and must have a psionic resistance index of 30 or higher. Once their task is complete, all personnel that have handled 589 must submit to a mandatory psychological screening. Description: SCP-589 is a stuffed animal that is able to change its appearance based on the subjective desires of the first person to come in contact with it. 589 has the ability to create a calming, soothing sensation within anybody who sees or comes into physical contact with it. Peppy, dude! He's trying to cause problems again. Okay. This ability appears to be mimetic, as it is able to spread via copies of itself as well as pictures depicting its likeness. However, the effectiveness of these copies is directly proportional to the quality of the product. The calming effect 589 imparts is not unlike the use of narcotics. Narcotics. As it stimulates the areas of the brain that are responsible for feelings of relief and euphoria and encourages the production of chemicals and hormones that reduce stress. However, this effect quickly becomes addictive, with infected individuals becoming completely dependent on 589 after extended exposure. Once addicted, an individual's interactions with 589 or any of its copies borders on complete obsession, and they are compelled to create more copies of 589 and attempt to spread them. However, what makes 589 dangerous are its after effects. After a certain period of time, 589 will immediately vanish. 589, SCP-589, any of its physical copies, and all versions of it in printed and electronic media will completely disappear. This sudden and massive disappearance of 589 results in catastrophic consequences for those infected by SCP-589. Without 589 to keep them passive and calm, infected individuals will immediately suffer a variety of severe withdrawal symptoms, including but not limited to manic depression, psychosis, heightened aggression, uncontrollable despair, dementia, mania, paranoia, and various other behavioral disorders. It is not known how or why SCP-589 does this, though there is speculation that SCP-589 feeds off of the emotional anguish it causes to those completely obsessed with it. Once the process is complete, 589 will reappear in another random location and repeat the cycle. 589 has tracked down and was tracked down and contained after the Foundation received a string of mysterious reports of villages and towns and rural areas being found with their entire populations dead, apparently having slaughtered each other in a massive and violent riot. The Foundation began tracking these incidents but could not determine their cause until Dr. Redacted discovered a pattern in the targeted areas. Using the data, Dr. Redacted provided, the Foundation managed to intercept and contain 589. Though several personnel had to undergo rigorous psychological treatment to counter the effects of 589. Currently, SCP-589 has not attempted to leave its containment area, which has led researchers to hypothesize that 589 follows a very specific life cycle pattern. Infection pattern. After various experiments on test groups consisting of the class personnel, SCP-589 appears to be solely targeted at individuals with severe insecurities or those suffering from high amounts of stress. Infection rates on subjects whose psychological profiles suggested that they were susceptible to high amounts of stress or low self-esteem showed a 90% infection rate, while subjects with little to no stress and high self-esteem only suffered from a 12% infection rate. This confirms Dr. Redacted's initial hypothesis that SCP-589 targets areas with high numbers of people that are easy for it to infect. Sentience hypothesis. It is a real possibility that 589 may in fact be a sentient creature, rather than an inanimate object. Study of 589's movement